Welcome, come well to Amias as I am, as you are. I'm about to say something very deep, but very simple to understand if you are of a simple mind. It's going to be very deep, but very simple to understand if you have a simple mind. You got here successfully through the heart, through the heart. So the only way out of here, out of this dimension, out of this reality that we all currently exist within, is through the heart. You successfully got here through the gateway and the doorway of the heart. So common sense means that the only way out of here, out of this dimension, out of this reality, spiritually, soulfully, is back through the heart. What do you mean by this? Let me tell you what I mean by it. When you were conceived through love, right? Right. Either your mother loved your father and your father didn't love your mother, or your father loved your mother and your mother didn't really love your father, or they both loved each other. Either way you look at it, whether it's a one-way street or a two-way street, love was involved. Which means what? This was involved during the conceiving, during the conception. The heart was involved. The love was involved. Then they conceived, conception took place, 3/4 of a solar cycle, you popped out of a womb. But how did you get here? You got here through the gateway of love, through the heart. So your only way out of here is through the heart. This is why there's so much emphasis on love and the heart. You have different deities, different gods, different deifications of different entities holding the heart, displaying the heart, showing the heart, embracing the heart, pointing to the heart. All these different deities pointing you to the heart. Well, we got to ask ourselves why. Why do they keep pointing us to the heart? Doesn't the heart, isn't that just a part of the circulatory system? Doesn't it just pump blood through the body? Yeah, the physical heart. But there's a spiritual heart which resides within the physical heart. That's the whole catch. That's the whole clue. That's the whole catch 22. Now, I know that what I said just made common sense. It made perfect sense. Whether you understand it or not, that's on you. That has nothing to do with me. But if you got here through the heart, if I got here through the heart, then my only way out of this damn thing is back through the heart. But back through the heart, how? How do I go back through the heart to exit this dimension? You entered this dimension through the heart, through the frequency, through the intelligence, through the spirit of love. How do I exit this dimension and this reality back through the heart doorway? Well, let's understand what the heart is in a certain way. The spiritual context, not the physical definition, not the organ, but the spiritual context of what they mean or what was implied, what was subliminally implied by embracing your heart. I mean, you got all kind of deities, all kind of gods. Even your Jesus is holding the heart. Why is that individual holding the heart? And he's pointing to it. He's pointing to the heart. And you even seen a certain flame come from the heart. In the picture of that person called Jesus, whether it was a real person or not, but let's not go there. Let's just pay attention to the symbol, to the symbology. Because our ancestors were what you call hyperbolic individual. They were hyperbole, which means that they never spoke uh, literally. Their literary wasn't, or their literary and their literature wasn't meant to be taken literally. It was meant to be taken within principle, within symbology, within inner understanding. That's why a flame is on the heart. Why would a flame be on the heart when the heart is burned up? If talking about the physical heart, the picture of your Jesus has a heart with flames coming from the top of it. Why would heart and fire or fire and heart relate or be connected or correlated as one understanding, as one symbol? Because like I told you before, the soul is fire. It is the light. The soul resides within, or the soul is a parallel reflection of the heart, and vice versa. So, as you can see, to enter the heart is to enter or access or activate your solar nature, your soul. Is to wake up your spirit so your spirit can grab your hand and guide you into your soul. That's the whole point of the whole spiritual aspect. You see, you're led to the spirit because that's the only way that you can be guided to the soul. The spirit is the one who chaperones you to the soul. You can't just enter into the soul. There's different graduatory states to get to that most innate, most insidious nature of our being, of our essence, of our core. Our core, C-O-R-E. So, this is why you even have certain deities or certain deifications, certain principles known as who we know as Ma'at or Ma'ah, M-A-A-T, where she's showing the weighing of the heart in the papyrus of Ani, which is what you know as Egyptian mythology or the Egyptian spiritual system, which is nothing but Cometian science. This was principle. This was very well known. This wasn't like mystery and deep and hardcore metaphysics and hidden occult magic. And no, this was very well known at one time. You have Ma'at, the weighing of the heart. You also have a god in the Aztec uh, time. His name was Tonatiuh or Tonatiuh, Tonatiuh, holding the heart. You even have a calendar that was Mayan, that was based on different phases. The weather pattern was based on different phases of the heart. And the degree of sacrifice or whatever sacrifice was being taken at that moment was based upon the heart. So the heart not only was based upon just that, they looked at the heart based, they would determine the weather, how they moved about in calendar time or calendar understanding, the solar cycle or the phases of the moon. They determined how what was going to happen by the heart, by the degree of the heart. This is what told them what weather was coming, what seasons were happening. And it wasn't necessarily they were going and digging inside of somebody's chest and taking out the heart like you see in Apocalypto. It wasn't based upon that all the time. It may have trickled down to that at some point later on in between the Aztec and the Inca in a certain way. Because you have Olmec, Mayan, Aztec, Inca. Or Olmec, Mayan, Inca, Aztec. So it wasn't always about digging in somebody's chest and pulling out the damn heart and holding it up to the sky. We have degenerated to that, or to that point of sacrifice, but it wasn't about even touching anybody's skin. We were able to just look and determine a genuine person, an honest person, a sincere being, and would know and just look at their energy, look in their eyes and know their heart. We would know their heart by looking in their eyes. See, it's the eyes and the heart that reveal the true essence of a being, not what the being said. People lie, people manipulate, people deceive. There was a time you didn't even have to open your mouth or describe or explain anything to me. I could just look in your eyes and I know what your heart is. Or I can see your essence in your heart and I know that your eyes are true. This is how we determine certain things. I'm showing you the importance and the relevance of the significance of the spiritual intelligence of the heart, not the physical one, the spiritual one. What the physical one represents. It represents anything physical. Every physical thing is a spiritual representation. Just like I am hidden in plain sight, which I always say in my videos. So, in other words, Ma'at is the weighing of the heart, not the brain, because the brain can't release you spiritually from this dimension, because the brain belongs here in this dimension. The brain belongs to this dimension. It only exists here. It does not exist in the spiritual realm. The brain exists here. And it was Ma'at that showed the weighing of the heart. The heart on one end of the scale and the feather on the other side of the scale. And the feather had to outweigh your heart. And this is when they knew that you basically weren't going to reincarnate again. But when the heart outweighed the feather, they say this person is a great chance this person may reincarnate again because their mission ain't finished, so they just didn't get the point while they were here in the flesh to activate their spiritual nature and get to their solar core of their essence. They didn't get it. And that was based upon their heart. When they weighed, it was based upon if you're emotionally drained, if you're soaking in thought and drowning in thought and so infatuated with the human and physical reality that you have no spiritual attachment. You have no calling back to the soul. You are not of the essence. You are of a physical presence. You have not graduated. You go nowhere. You come right back here. Eros Buros. You return right back here in this cycle and you recycle back into another body. And you may return back as a crippled person or handicapped or certain things like that, but I have no idea to that degree. Not saying that those people or we are more privileged, they're inferior and superiority. This has nothing to do with inferiority or superiority. This has something to do with you having an understanding. Do you know why you are here? Do you know what you are supposed to do here? Do you know your mission? Or you may come back as a hooker on the street. May come back as a drug addict. And you were just that close to graduating to not reincarnating or recycling back into a carnal nature. But you failed because you let your emotions outweigh your common sense. Let your thoughts outweigh your thinking intelligence. You let your feelings override your intelligence. So therefore you are not of true spiritual love. You are not of the shaman's path. You are not of the middle path. This is what the middle path is. It's not no street somewhere or some location or some road. The middle path is the middle part of the body, which is the heart. This is the middle path. To be one with your heart is to be one with grace, while at the same time functioning normally through your day-to-day human experience. These are some things to keep in mind to master your heart. Because if you got here through your heart, once again, the only way out of here is through your damn heart. Let your feelings and possessions alert you rather than affect you. Every alert is an inner test and challenge to be your best at at the moment of your potential worst. And I always tell people this. You can only be your best and see your best when you are at your worst, or almost at your worst. This is when you can see your best. When something pisses you off or something triggers you, that's the only moment that you have to say, damn, why am I going to get pissed off and punch this fucking wall and kick this and throw things at each other and yell and scream and lose my cool? Am I just going to be like, you know what? It's not worth that. I got more discipline. I told you this is what the disciples around Jesus, that person Jesus, 12 disciples with the 12 zodiac signs, with the 12 disciplines, or the 12 disciplinaries. This is why you have to be disciplined and discipline your 12 zodiacs, or your zodiacs, or your 12 animals, or your 12 animations, or your 12 animes. 12 animations, the 12 personalities, the 12 identities, the 12 avatars, the 12 mood swings, the 12 emotions, the 12 feelings, the 12 thoughts. These are the 12 disciples, your 12 disciplines. You have to discipline to get to that 13, to get to that Christ intelligence, the Christ intelligence. And the 13 is where? It's the heart, it's the soul, it's the rebel, the rebellious one. Why do you think your Jesus rebelled against things that were happening in the street, flipped over tables, did this, did that, went against the order? Because that person was symbolic of the principle of rebellion. The spirit follows order. The soul rebels against order. Giving you clues. Take it or leave it. No, we don't believe it. In other words, let clouds pass. That's what a thought is. That's what a feeling is. That's what a possession is. It's just a passing cloud. Let the cloud pass. Don't let it rain over you. Experience feelings mentally more than physically. Experience your feelings mentally more than you experience them physically. Like I told you, learn how to witness your feelings rather than feel your feelings. This is how you get to the heart. If you want to get the fuck out of here, this is what you got to do. While you are here in the flesh, there is no other way to do it. You got here. I made that crystal clear, perfectly clear for you to understand. You got here through this doorway. The only way out of here is back through this doorway. This is why everything else is a distraction, to keep you emotionally drained, to keep you full of thoughts, to keep you pissed off, aggravated, weighing heavy on the human body, so that you reincarnate and recycle back in this damn thing again. I don't know if y'all gonna get it. You probably gonna get it still, no matter how much I'm making sense. Because you know why? Common sense is kind of dead nowadays. It's sad, but it's kind of true. Experience your feelings mentally more than physically. Question its reason and arrival, and receive the knowledge from its occurrence to transcend to your inner nature into a higher nature of self. Instead of you experiencing the body, let the body experience you. Instead of you experiencing the body, let the body experience you. How about that? The more, remember, when you get pissed off and you get emotional and you get mad, these are chemicals that are forming, toxins forming within the body. And the more emotional chemicals you produce within your body, the more challenging it becomes for you to access your spirit and your mind and your soul. It interrupts the electricity, because spirit is electric. It's electricity. From one melanin Oh, from one melanocyte to the other melanocyte, the communication, divine communication, is an electric spark. Electricity, spirituality, producing chemicals, disrupts, interrupts, interferes with the electrical conduits and the components to travel from one circuit to the other. This is just the chemistry. So, like I said, uh, came here through this, you got to go back through it. The heart is a chamber. The heart is a dimension. But most importantly, the heart is an experience. Experience it. Got here through this. So the only way out of here is back through this. Amias as I am, as you are. Like I tell people as well. For those who would like to further support this path, my Cash App is bluamas, Cash App, or $ bluamas, which is displayed right here on the screen. For those who would like to further support this path, all the support goes to towards building libraries, in-home libraries as well as outside libraries, maintaining living circumstances, that's personal, of course. Supplies utilized for sessions and classes, which I hold. Appreciate y'all for attending. Future spiritual projects and manifestation, book printing and distribution, website development and sustainment, and continuing private and public events held for seekers on this specific path to attend. As you are.